Hello. So April's Parkinson's Awareness Month, so I thought I'd create a video on about it. Because if you don't know, my name's Larry. I have Parkinson's, but I was also diagnosed with something called dystonia. More about that in a minute, but this is going to be a long video. I also have some cognitive issues. Things take me a while to explain. Please sit through the whole thing. You're going to learn something, and I'm going to ask you to do something at the end. So if if you're not aware, people with Parkinson's are not just about tremors or shaking. They're not just leaning forward. There's a lot of symptoms, 200 to 450, somewhere around there. I can't remember the number, but there's a lot of symptoms that comes with Parkinson's. For me, I don't get lots of tremors, so the shaking in the hands and things like that. That would, if you have that regularly, constantly or near constantly or all the time, lots of times, and that's like the first sort of symptom you have, it's tremor dominant. For me, I'm not tremor dominant. I do get tremors. I actually get them in both hands now and elsewhere, and internal tremors, which is really weird to try to explain to people and to wrap your head around. But I do get tremors in both hands, but for me, rigidity, which is slowness, and balance issues, and lots of the other symptoms of Parkinson's is what I have. I also have something called dystonia. Don't remember all the stuff about it. Dystonia, it's like tightening of the muscles, cramping. I can describe how it impacts myself. So for me, I unfortunately, well, one, I have young onset, which makes me more likely to have dystonia. And I am one of the ones with young onset who do have dystonia. I have talked to some who don't have dystonia, and thank God they don't, because this is a horrible thing to go through. But for me, I get it in my neck to my shoulders, and it causes a lot of tightening. So much so that it's like ripping muscles apart, I guess is maybe a way to very loosely describe the feeling. And my left side of the neck is worse than the right side of the neck. And so that's where I get a lot of the tightening and stuff in the left side of the neck. And it goes into my shoulders. I get them in both hands, which is not any fun, because I have a lot of problems with cooking, cleaning, and lots of other tasks. The more I use my hands, the more tighter they get, the more painful they get. I even had them lock up into like claws. So far, no medication has been able to really keep it at bay. They sort of help, but it just gets worse and worse. I also get it in my back, especially my lower back. It had gone away for a while, and then it came back a month or two ago. I can't remember. Very thankful I had a cane then. I actually got it for my knees, because dystonia also impacts my legs and my feet, and unfortunately also impacts my knees. And it's caused grinding in the knees. I went to a knee doctor for about a year and a half. They did all kinds of stuff. I don't remember everything they did. Lots of tests, lots of shots and whatever. And he was like, hey, based on what he's feeling and seeing and everything else, he thinks dystonia is impacting the knees and causing it to grind. Every physical therapist I've been to says, your knees are grinding. Yeah, because of dystonia. And so down my right side of my leg, I get it both sides of the leg, but down the right side especially, the muscle has a certain tightness to it. Always. 24/7. I can't cross my legs. I can put the left over the right, but I can't put the right over the left. And sometimes I can't even do the left over the right. But the right is much more impacted, which is interesting, because the upper body, the left is worse than the right, but the lower body, the right's worse than the left. Who knows? But that muscle will tighten even more, and to the point where it gets really painful in my leg. I also get in my feet. I'll get cramping in the feet. It feels like my toes are getting ripped apart. And they get in these weird, starting the last several months, I've gotten in these weird positions that are just a little bit, but enough to be painful and hurt. And my lower back, lots of cramping, tightness. It makes me lean because it gets so tight that I can't lift myself up, which is why I'm glad I had gotten a cane. I had actually gotten it because of my knees after talking with my primary care, and Showed up, and I don't remember, a few weeks, month later, the lower back came back with a vengeance, and worse than it was before. And so every day, lots of pain, lots of tightness, cramping, not the type of typical cramping that people get, really, really bad, painful cramps. And hands, backs, legs, neck, just everywhere, feet, which you get really sensitive. So do the hands. It's also because of dystonia, we think, why I have neuropathy in the feet and the fingertips and the fingers. And so, stoves, hot things, dishes, I most of the time can't wash dishes because it's just too sensitive. The fingers are too sensitive. And so my wife and my kids end up doing most of the stuff around the house. And as time has gone on, they've increased how much they've had to do, and I've had to decrease how much I can do. Which is not fun, watching my wife and kids walking around doing stuff. But what are you going to do? So I help out where I can. But Parkinson's is not fun. If you've met one person with Parkinson's, you've only met one. We might have similar sorts of symptoms, but how it impacts us, duration, intensity, when it started, right? It's everyone's different. And for dystonia, it can last briefly. Like, I'll get tightening. The right is not too bad at the moment, but it'll tighten. And sometimes it'll last a few minutes, or it'll last days, weeks, months, right? And so the right one will last days, weeks, months, and then it might loosen up a little bit and then tighten up again. But again, the more I use my hands and do stuff, the tighter and more painful they get. So I can't do a lot. It's had a massive impact on my life and my family's life. So be aware, or understand that just because you see somebody on the outside doesn't mean you know what's going on the inside. You won't know I've got pain. I hide it pretty well until it gets really bad, because you sort of get used to the pain levels, and you can't do stuff even though you sort of get used to the pain levels. But from the outside, you wouldn't realize that I have pain. You might sometimes see it in my face. I've had people look at me and, what's wrong with, is there something wrong? And then, well, yeah, dystonia pain. So I have shared around a flyer for moving day, at least digitally. My wife, my family, and I, last year, when I was diagnosed in 2024 with Parkinson's, and last year we started a walk, doing the moving day walk. This year we're doing it again. I'm not walking. I'm just going to help out. It's like an hour, participate, volunteer, sit down at a booth, and help out. But my wife and kids are going to walk. So I know money's tight for a lot of people. If you can't afford to, that's fine, but please share out the flyer or tell people about it. If you could donate $5, $10, $25, $10, not much, that would be appreciated. So this goes directly to the Parkinson's Foundation. I don't get it. It goes to Parkinson's Foundation. Well, who are the Parkinson's Foundation? Well, they help people with Parkinson's and their caregivers sort of navigate, I guess is the best way, maybe. Parkinson's, they offer a lot of things for free to us. I've got a lot of books from them. They do online sort of exercise yoga sorts of classes that are free. They've got meetings, events that they do for free, so you can learn, talk to their doctors, just sort of get help with dealing with Parkinson's. They also do some research, and they give money out for research. But when they do, they always have people with Parkinson's who reviews the research, at least to the point that they can, and give their sorts of thoughts on whether it should be funded or not. So they do a lot with the Parkinson's community. They get their input on a lot of things. And so it's really, really important to me and my family that we sort of help them with some funding, because they've done a lot for us. So if you can, it would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to try to put on this video, if I can, the flyer. Otherwise, I'll post it immediately after this video, so it'll be there. Please share it. If you can donate, please do. If you're in the Baltimore area and you want to walk with us or with my family, let us know. We'd love to have you join. We'd love to have a bunch of people come with us and do the walk. So far, it's just my wife and myself, my kids. Although this year, again, I'm not walking. My family is, but we'd love to have you join. So let me know. Sorry for the long video. It takes me a while to sort of get things out nowadays. But that's how Parkinson's affects me. I hope you've learned something, and let me know if you have any questions.